Hello and welcome to game number 2 of our first day of the second week of the Smite Oceanic Pro League between Team Kamikaze and the Direwolves. So we just saw in our first match Team Kamikaze going down to the Wolfpack in a fashion very reminiscent of their old slap and tickle games.
Yeah, it was a throwback to the comps of old. Something that I did notice towards the end of that game as well was that Yada went for a Crusher, I think it is, which is the item that gives you stacks every time you attack a turret for a few seconds, increasing your attack speed and movement speed. I thought that was really unique, but if you did notice, he was actually over in the solo lane trying to split push, and I was about to mention it before they just walked in, crushed TCAM, and walked through their base, but they were looking to split push. So they were comfortable with it. Their Bastet was ahead of Alquang. Were comfortable with that matchup. This time around, it'll be interesting to see what happens in the jungle bans. Fenrir taken away, so I do expect Ratatosk to be taken away as well.
Yeah, so our first ban was Bologna. We did mention that these junglers really like Bologna. The fact that she can stick to you with her shield bash slows you down. It brings a lot to team fights with the Eagles Rally. Can sustain really well with her Scourge. The hammer does a tremendous amount of damage. It could chunk down towers, and Fenrir taken away. So I expect to see Ratatosk taken away as well very shortly. Athena also banned out. I mean, that was Team Kamikaze's first ban, and that was just expected after everything Chuckles did on her last game. Taunting, shield bashing for just so much damage. You know, dashing in there, Defender of Olympus all over across the map. And yeah, we do see Ratatosk banned out now. The Direwolves will have the first pick in this game. Sylvanas is still open, so I'd expect for them to go that direction.
Well, seeing to start looking what's coming through, Alquang was left available and rightly picked up Giannis towards that mid lane. We were talking about how Divine has been focusing on towards his more utility mage styles, but it's interesting to see Team Kamikaze actually go with a Ymir in the support role. Geb's left open and he's on the board. You haven't picked up your 80 carry. I really like Geb with hyper carries, and Ram has actually seen a return to prominence, as well as Shibalonke. A little bit more picking up the picking order. Shibalonke obviously now coming through as banned out by Team Kamikaze. Those picks and bans are actually flipped around, so Kamikaze are actually going to be red for this one. Direwolves are actually going to be blue, but the bans are opposite because that's the way it came through. Apollo also works with a Geb. But yeah, there's Ram has been a huge focus this last week because he works so well without needing the executioner. He's one of the few 80 carries that doesn't need an executioner as early. He can do well without it.
Yeah, so back towards the first couple of picks from Team Kamikaze, I like the Ymir for the lane pressure it brings. I like the Janice for the cross-map kind of utility that we mentioned, as well as that it brings out a lot of damage. I like Bastet for... Well, we just saw why Bastet was so great. You know, Yada played it tremendously. And so Team Kamikaze, a bit of a stronger team composition this time than I feel they had last time. Towards the Direwolves, we've got Agni picked up for Kiki Omio. He really likes Agni. We're playing him a lot in tournaments and other matches where his recent transition to mid lane. We're looking at our bans. We can see Medusa banned out. We can see Shibalonke banned out, as you mentioned. And now Osiris and Neath picked up for the Direwolves, along with Apollo for Team Kamikaze. Final pick is going to be the Odin, but the Neath coming out of just laning. Last time we saw him play that was against Avant-Garde when he was part of Citadel and got over 40k damage for that. So, you know, I think he could probably do the same. Once again, a lot of this kind of new meta seems to be how fast you can get across the map, and if you could do damage across the map, the Neath World Weaver is just tremendous in that aspect.
Yeah, Athena Neath so good in that sort of combo. Obviously, with Athena banned off the tail, is just relevant at this point in time. Nuwa are actually seeing a little bit of Nuwa play as well, and that's reasons why is that just that you have the potential to put pressure across the map. Be interesting to see how they rotate around with an Alquang. Chuckles, remember he did play that Athena in the last match. He has been trending towards playing a lot more Guardians than say some of the other junglers. And we're actually going to be seeing Liquid Renegade on Ymir this time around. So they're sort of a little bit flipped. Ymir being played by Renegade. Well, I mean, Osiris, not really quite some assassin, but somebody that likes to stick. That's sort of what he wants to do as a jungler from Liquid Renegade. So Blink Freeze that's sort of his style. Get onto somebody, wall them off, wall them in. That's what he wants to be doing. But it's more Guardian, it's a lot more tanky focused, and that's what you will see a lot more often from Liquid Renegade, rather than playing Assassins.
Yeah, I think as well. The Odin support is interesting to me. I feel because we all know Odin drops off after about level 13. He does provide good kind of wave clear for his dual lane partner. It's going to be important with an Apollo in that dual lane. He just uses that bird bomb jump combo to help clear the wave, but I don't really know how I feel about it as a support purely. I would have preferred it in like jungle or even solo, like we saw Top Notch in Invidious. He played that Odin solo really well and really kind of carried them against Ivory in the Pro League qualifiers. We've seen Odin played quite a bit. I like his synergy with, I think, something like an Arp Watch really helps secure damage on their ultimate, as well as that it's anti-healing. So that's going to be really good against the Sylvanas pick for Direwolves. Really going to prevent a lot of that healing while inside his Cage ultimate. Just as a support though, it feels a bit odd to me. Team Kamikaze like their janky drafts. The Ymir jungle I really like. With Blink, Ymir gets a lot of that mobility, and just he can really disrupt you a lot. Blink in and freeze, you land that on a couple of people. It could really disrupt any kind of rotation you're trying to make. And it's a really good initiate along with Odin Cage, because the Odin initiate is just his ultimate. He doesn't really have any CC outside of that, whereas the Ymir can go in and freeze pretty often. On the side of the Direwolves, the Sylvanas first pick is just, it was very obvious to me it should be very obvious to everyone out there that would be the first pick when it's left open, because does so much for your team. We talked about it last game: healing, crowd control, initiation. You can do pretty much everything, and it was just I feel like the Direwolves draft was pretty strong. They got that Al Kwong as well for El Chuckles. We got Osiris for Yada. So Direwolves draft is pretty good, but Team Kamikaze's one as well. If they can work the kind of jankiness of it in their favor, they could be able to disrupt the potential that Direwolves have.
Yeah, well, we're going to be finding that one out in just a few moments as we're about to head into game. If you want to let us know who you think is going to take game number 2 after such a strong play from the Direwolves, can Team Kamikaze pull that one back? Let us know in the chat. Give us a hashtag TCamWin or hashtag DWWin. Tell us on Twitter as well, at CG Smite is where you keep up to date with all your Cybergamer Pro League action, heading all the way through to packs, including an open ladder. They'll also be seeding through a challenger qualifier to get towards packs. You want all the information, head on over to Twitter at CG Smite. Don't forget to head on over to the Cybergamer website as well, which can be found at au.cybergamer.com. And all the Pro League results, everything is being hosted there. You can see all the team members' profiles, everything. So why don't you go and head on over to that one today.
Exactly right. So should be with you very shortly. We're going to take a short break, and we'll bring you all the action from game number 2 right after this. Hello and welcome back to game number 2 of the Direwolves v Team Kamikaze in the Smite Oceanic Pro League. I am Husey, and joining me for this cast is Ranconius.
Yeah, well, I am back with you, and we're going to be getting right into this one. Check out the teams, Direwolves and Team Kamikaze. We introduced them last game, but let's just do a quick rundown once again. Yada in the solo lane on the Osiris for Direwolves. El Chuckles is going to be in the jungle with a purple pot on the Ao Kwang. Keep that in the back of your mind for a few minutes. Kiki Omiu on the Agni in the mid lane. Rotten Melons is going to be on Sylvanas at the Guardian, and Just Laney is going to be rounding us out on the Neath.
On the side of Team Kamikaze, in the solo lane, on the Kitty Cat Lady, it is going to be Tompo. Liquid Renegade will be your jungle Frost Giant Ymir. The mid laner is I Divine. On the God of Portals, Janice. Your duo lane will be comprised of the All-Father Odin Magnet and the God of Music, the one, the only, the beautiful Apollo, played by Redoxide.
Let's keep an eye on where this early game starts. Check out your duo lanes. They're looking for those mid camps. Magnet did pick up one. They get the second one. So Kamikaze, small advantage. They get both mid camp creep on that left-hand side, and they're going to pick up into the purple buffs from both sides. So it's going to be Kamikaze to go into lane with a little bit of an XP advantage. Speed buff starts for both sets of mid lane, jungle, and solo lane combos, and then straight up rotations into the mid lane is going to be coming through right now for our junglers. Yeah,
and as you mentioned, the El Chuckles has got a purple butt on Ao Kwang. He's going to be doing a tremendous amount of damage early game, but there's a nice freeze there from Liquid Renegade. Chuckles taking a lot of damage. He does have some health bots to help him. There's the damage we talked about from Ao Kwang. Some early aggression from both of these teams. Team Kamikaze really want to dominate these mid-camp fights. That's where they must feel they lost the last game, and we can see the fight here breaking out early, and I think Team Kamikaze got both of those, so a little bit of an early victory. No, actually, no, Direwolves did take one of them. Yeah, so Team Kamikaze, pretty aggressive. They're trying to take advantage of the squishiness of the jungle Ao Kwang.
Yeah, just trying to take advantage of it from the side of Team Kamikaze. It's something that you want to do. Of course, you do have a Ymir on your side, so you are going to be naturally tanky coming out of that jungle, especially with that XP. Tankiest god in the game health-wise. Left-hand side, Magnet looking for bird bombs, doesn't quite find Laney. Did do a significant amount of damage, but now coming forward, Redoxide wants to trade. Looks like our duo lane is going to be an aggressive one on this left-hand side.
You have to be with an Odin. Like, early game is where he thrives, and mid-game he does alright. Late game, he's just non-existent. You throw down your Ring of Spears and then pray for the best. And, you know, they need to get this early aggression, get the Apollo online early, get Redoxide really influencing the rest of the map with his Across the Skies. Nice damage there from Magnet. Runt Melon's going to heal some of that back up with his Wisps. And Laney's also got a heal there with his Broken Weaves. So they're not going to suffer too much, but it is going to force a little bit of pressure down their throats. We can see an early rotation by Liquid Renegade towards the solo lane. Decides to back off at the last moment, just take some XP from the mid lane, and Divine is already level 5, and it's not even 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, he's doing exceptionally well on that mid lane XP. They did get some on the right-hand side of mid camps. Left-hand side will be spawning up here in about 30 seconds from now. That's when they'll be spawning, so expect that to be the next little bit of a contestant. And about 30 seconds on from those, the right-hand side will be going down as well. But for now, keep an eye down, because Divine's ulting towards this right-hand side. They want to show up in Yada's lane. He's going to use that Lord of the Afterlife and try and get himself the heck out of here. Goes through a portal, misses the freeze on towards him. They're going to drop down the ultimate of Liquid Renegade. Can they get the kill here? Yes, they can. Divine with the unstable vortex.
But here come the rest of the Direwolves now. The Wolfpack is out to hunt El Chuckles, looking for something onto Tompo, but he's not going to find it here. Kimio got a little bit of aggression from the cat. Over on the duo side, Just Laney getting extremely low, as is Rotten Melons. Magnet gets the... No, sorry, Redoxide picks up the kill there. Very nicely paid from Team Kamikaze. Just the aggression they needed, and now Magnet going in on Just Laney. He's extremely low. Laney boxing it back and forth, heals up. He's getting a lot of help, but Magnet got to fall down to the tower. Laney credited with the kill, so at least the Direwolves got something out of that. But good aggression from Team Kamikaze across the board. Last game they got first blood as well, and now they're starting to convert it a little bit better.
Yeah, and check out what has been forced out on the side of Laney as well. He's forced to go for the Cursed Gauntlets. I feel like Redoxide's not going to have enough gold to go back and pick them up either. Yeah, no, he's not going to have enough gold when he bases. He's like one wave away. If he'd stayed for one wave, he would have got the gold. He would be coming back out of lane with the powers.
No, he's got enough.
He sold a pot. He sold a pot.
There you go.
He had a pot in hand. There you go.
Yeah. Selling pot evidently is a profitable career. That's it. That's a joke, but you know, Just, you know, kids, stay away from drugs, stay in school. So yeah, he's got those Devourers going. He can start.
Drink them for yourself.
Yeah, he can start stacking now, which gives him a tremendous advantage over just Laney going towards this next kind of laning phase. Laney going to be forced to back at some point. So some more tower pressure for a Darkseid is going to be good. Tompo and Yada going at it back and forth in this solo lane. And Yada, you know, came off, you know, second best earlier with the 3-man rotation from Team Kamikaze. He needs to, the map control needs to be just as on point this game as it was last game. We've now got a 3-man rotation towards the duo lane, looking for this purple pot of the Direwolves. Rotten Melons blinks away from the aggression, but Just Laney is by himself. Team Kamikaze, they're kind of unsure what to do, I think, at this point.
They're looking for aggression. They've got a little bit more of an aggressive comp, got the ability to freeze up and whatnot. But Rotten Melons, he's going to be looking to re-engage and help out Liquid. Towards, they do get the snare. They got a wall now though to fight through, and you can't shoot through a wall, but you can grab through it, and that's the important part. Renegade's in trouble. He's going to be forced to get the heck out of here. And check this out, Chuckles and Kikiomiya are on their way over as well.
Yeah, Renegade very low, but so is Redoxide. Rotten Melons for a pull, another form of CC onto someone from Team Kamikaze. He's walked right into the middle of them. At the moment, he does have a blink, but it is down. He used it to disengage before, and neither team really going to find terribly much here. All that's going to happen is 2 minions from the purple camp stolen away by Team Kamikaze, but not the most important one, which is the buff itself. Laney able to pick that one up right now. So Direwolves, you know, they had a good disengage there. Team Kamikaze looking for some aggression, didn't quite find the positioning necessary to really pull anything off, and wisely decided to back out rather than going in kind of, you know, half prepared and maybe give up a kill to the Direwolves.
Let's have a little bit of a chat about this right-hand side of the map now. Tompo did obviously start off with the charge Morningstar, looking to get in towards that, what's the name, as early as possible, because Idivine's coming over here as well. They're looking for this gank. They at least got the Ring of Spears down, but they missed catching themselves in Osiris. And Yada, he's just got an ult to get himself out of there. He's totally happy. He's all fine.
Yeah, exactly right. And if we look now, El Chuckle's looking towards Tompo. There's the water illusion. Nice. Oh, no, doesn't hit anything. Just Laney on the backside. Just solos Redoxide. He didn't use his Across the Skies to get out there. Not quite sure what he was thinking, but Chuckles look for some damage onto Tompo. Tompo pounced away. There's the cats from Tompo doing a lot of damage to Yada. There's a nice use from Liquid Renegade, but Chuckles gets the execute off. But Yada falls as well to Liquid Renegade. 1-for-1 trade. Chuckles maybe looking to re-engage. No, he just gets out, goes towards mid lane, and takes 2 tower shots for his trouble.
Were they chasing him when he went up? I have a feeling they were chasing him when he went up, those tower shots. Anyway,
yeah,
what it has done is allowed Direwolves to get this left-hand side set of mid-camps because there was such a rotation towards the right-hand side of the map. Magnet might be in trouble here if they find a stun on towards him. Gungy's Might is at least going to keep him sustained up because he won't take damage through the shield. So he's at least going to get out there with the Raven Shout as well.
Definitely, and as well as this, let's take a look at some builds now. Laney still doesn't have his Devourers Gauntlets online. He's still not stacking. Redoxide has gone for those combat boots, and I think that's just because Laney has it back for a while. He's got his World Weaver ready to engage towards the mid lane. There's the Spear Wall from Magnet. There's Liquid Renegade going down to his ultimate as well. Rotten Melon's getting extremely low. Down goes Kiki. Yada picks up a kill on Magnet, but Melons goes down as well. Chuckles barely getting out with his life, but Yada wants to go in more. Divine uses a cross space of time to get out. Renegade freezes Yada in place, and then goes through the teleport as well. Tompo's hanging around, but he doesn't really care. He's got his pounce up. Nice engagement there from Team Kamikaze. Yada actually still going in on Tompo. He knows the cats are down. Tompo wisely pounces away. But as I was just saying, good aggression there from Team Kamikaze. Really coming out of the gates firing in this match.
Yeah, they want to be getting towards their opponents. All they need to do is buy its time for Redoxide over on that left-hand side of the map, and he's going to be absolutely huge. Divine is going to do the same. Tompo is the one they need to focus their early pressure on, and focus they have. They've given him a lot of ganks. He's now to 1-1 and 3. He's got the Transcendence online, so he's at least going to start scaling in towards his mid-game. His burst potential, because he's picking up lane XP, and solo lane XP at that, not shared XP with the mid lane, is just going to be insane. And his early assassination potential, this is what Bastet brings in the solo lane. She gets levels online, her early burst pressure is higher than it is in the jungle, and when she does rotate, she's highly mobile as well.
Tompo's doing very similar things to what Yada did last game. Good rotations coming out of the solo lane, as you mentioned, very important for team success. One thing I want to touch on quickly is Magnet's Odin. Now, you may have seen he's got Talaria boots, which is an interesting choice. As we say that, he blinks and uses the Spear Wall. Kikimea gets frozen in place and just absolutely is erased. Rotten Melons needs to get out here. He is extremely low. Wall there from Liquid Renegade. Chuckles looking for Magnet. Doesn't even need to use the execute. World Weaver was coming towards him. Uses the disengage ultimate, but Eye Divine still here looking across the sky. Comes from a dark side. Down goes Chuckles and down goes Melons. Double kill there for the AD carry of Team Kamikaze, whose name is Redoxide.
Yeah, Yada looking for the rotation as well to try and help his team out, but that is Redoxide huge in this one for Team Kamikaze. He has got to carry that team on his back through the mid-game, or does he quite have to? Because the rest of the team are doing quite well enough themselves as well. Mid-camp control has been a little bit interesting. Dials have been picking up a lot of those in the early portion of the map.
In the solo lane, Tompo forced to use the cats as Yada goes in ham on him, and he puts down Yada. Too strong for the kitty cats there. Sorry to cut you off, Rank.
Oh man, when there's kills on the map, I'm happy for you to cut me off. I want to hear about those kills. I want to hear the sexy Husey voice. Recently, again, voted sexiest caster OCE.
Yeah, I didn't even set that one up. That was Link's clone all by himself. So, you know, official Yada actually going in for some more kills here on Eye Divine. But Divine, my goodness, the magical power coming out of that Janus is tremendous. If he gets a portal on the floor, I think Yada may go down. But no, it's going to be... Yada's just going to get out. But here comes Chuckles. Oh, nice portal through the wall there from Divine. Great.
The water illusion is through though for Chuckles. He's got the juking potential. He's looking for a little bit more damage. Can he find it? Oh, he's so close. We'll finally manage to pick that up. I believe on the left-hand side as well. Just Laney falls to the trio of Magnet, Liquid Renegade, and Redoxide. So that's more on the board for those three. And Magnet, I think he's got a decent amount of kills now on that passive. So his physical power, even without picking up any sort of aggressive boots, Warrior Tarbai, Ninja Tarbai, those sorts of things, he's actually still doing quite well for himself in terms of physical power.
Definitely. That's what you need with Odin, is to be using that physical power. He's getting towards where he's ideal at the moment, which is at level 13. I want to go back to the Odin though, because what's so tremendous about it is that the target they're really going to be picking on, which is Kiki and Mio, can't get out of the Ring of Spears. Osiris can get out because of his passive. He can actually just walk through the walls. Our Kwon can get out. Neith can get out. But the support and the mid lane for Direwolves can't get out of those Ring of Spears. And that's what's doing a lot of work for Team Kamikaze. They need to be capitalizing on what this Odin can provide for him. And they really have been so far.
From memory, Neith just backflips into that wall as well. So that's 3 they can grab.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You are indeed correct.
Yeah, so, you know, that's what they're looking for, is they're looking for combo onto one person, pick them off. They're going to focus them out with the Ymir ultimate, very similar ring size. And then, as well, because they're locked in this Ring of Spears, it works fantastically with Bastet. Bastet, Odin are just a really, really nice duo to work together. And
Redoxide getting a lot of damage onto him there from Just Laney and Rotten Melons. Just rooted to the spot for about a good minute. But here comes Eye Divine and Magnet. There goes the Ring of Spears onto Just Laney. Liquid Renegade coming through as well. Laney is frozen in place. There's the Glacial Strike. Redoxide picks up another kill. Melons can only stand by the side and look on helplessly as his lane partner is just absolutely destroyed by 4 members of Team Kamikaze.
They rotated in trees then. Just a tree of them that rotated around. Tompo on the right-hand side of the map is diving super deep. He's between the tier 1 and the tier 2. What the heck are you doing there, Yada, on Tompo? Wow.
Yada going full big man mode, but might pay for it here. Oh, no, uses his ultimate, get over the wall, but the tick from Tompo is going to be enough. Over on the right-hand side, Melon's taking a lot of damage. Chuckles is here to try and convert that bait into a kill. There's the execute. Chuckles gets the kill, but down goes Rotten Melon to Redoxide. Kikyo, Mio, and Chuckles are still here. Redoxide, you should have gotten out, buddy. He's about to fall down. Can he pick up a kill? But no, Kikyo, Mio converts it with that fire damage from that 2-headed fire monster that is Agni. Back for the Ring of Spears. I think Neith can actually backflip out of the Odin Spears. I think that that has been changed.
They did get that changed? Okay.
I'm pretty sure that's been changed, yeah.
Okay. Alright, well I clearly have not played Neith lately.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, is that changed? Is that not? I'm not sure. Like, I think it is though. I think from memory it is, because I think you can backflip over your Ymir wall now as well. Over on the right-hand side, Tompo pressuring up the lane as well. But Yada is back, you know, Sheriff's back in town. This is my tower. You ain't gonna touch it. Tompo, I really like this Bastet pick. You know, we see him a lot on Fenrir and some tankier solo laners. It's good to see him kind of transitioning, or not transitioning, or kind of broadening his pool into some more of those damagey solo laners.
Yeah, I really like seeing the Bastet coming out in the solo lane as well. It is obviously the Bastet pick is so heavily tempered by the Ao Kuang. You'll only ever see Bastet against Ao Kuang. You won't see it when there's no Ao Kuang in the game. And it's designed to put some early pressure down and counter out Ao Kuang's really super squishy health pool early on, and the fact that Bastet can trade exceptionally well. It's rough. Ao Kuang can't do very much in that matchup, as you saw last game, especially in the solo lane. So opting to go with it in the jungle is the smartest option that you can really pick for. If you've already picked something else, well, Ao Kuang's got to suffer, or you've got to swap them. It's just how it goes.
Exactly right. We see Chuckles forced to use the water illusion to get out of the damage Divine was putting out towards him. Divine has really done a lot of work with his Janus in this game, just pouring out damage after damage with those unstable vortexes and getting his team around the map. Like, he used it through space and time before and got 3 members of his team along with himself through there just to gank 2 people, but that's exactly what you need. And Redoxide now getting some more aggression onto him, mesmerizes out Rotten Melons. Melons just barely misses the pull onto him. That could have been a nice kill there. Divine rotating over now, but both teams going to disengage at this point. Over on the right-hand side, Tompo's tower is taking an awful lot of damage, just barely managing to preserve that 1 more minion wave, and I think that will go down. Let's take a look back towards these builds now. We can see Liquid Renegade has actually picked up a Midgardian Male.
Yeah, so he's going to be incredibly tanky and stop any auto attacks that are coming through. El Chuckles is, of course, one of the major targets of that one, and Yada, both incredibly auto... You know, they benefit significantly from auto attacks, but down comes the through space and time, looking for the rotation. They get the freeze on towards El Chuckles, but down comes the World Weaver looking for Liquid Renegade. He does come out of this charge of True Ice in time to get stunned up. Tompo is still looking for the kill. He's so close. We'll pick it up with the dots to come through, but Yada, he wants to go back in on this one.
Yeah, Yada's going again, full ham, just walks through the spear walls, but Kikyo Mio is caught up there, and that's the real target, uses his beads, but it's not going to be enough. Rotten Melons actually knocks people up with a Wrath of Terror. Kiki is still alive. Magnet extremely low. Will the Wisps kill him? No, but it will kill Tompo. Magnet is still alive somehow, along with Liquid Renegade. Kikyo Mio gets healed up nicely from Rotten Melons. I cannot believe he lived there. And
Wouldn't you want to have a World Weaver right about now? You would so want that World Weaver. That is so unlucky. He burned it to obviously deal with the initiate and the engage on that right-hand side, but now he wants those kills and unfortunately not able to do it. That's the risk that you run when you play the World Weaver like that.
Exactly right. It's a good counter initiate, but you know it's not that great of a counter initiate. It's a great initiate, but counter initiating, like if you're too far away, it takes too long to get there, and usually people will have body blocked or have prepared to use their beads or are using a CC immune ability when they're using it. It was good instinct by Laney to just lay that down as soon as he saw the aggression coming through, but just a little bit of mistiming. We could see Liquid Renegade look at the wall off Chuckles there, not going to find it. Chuckles has done pretty well for himself on the Ao Kuang, 4-2-1 at this point in time. Not as much kill participation as in the last game, but
ruining his stats.
It's all right. I think he'll take the victory over the stats.
Yeah, well, I would too. If I was a pro player, that's what I'd be looking for.
Alrighty, so Renegade though, he has been part of 10 of his team's 14 kills, so he must have heard what we said pre-game about the changing his stat, and now it looks like Kiki's getting some more aggression onto him. The damage is tremendous. There's the World Weaver, hits the Ymir instead of the Odin, which was the target. Chuckles uses the execute, takes out Magnet. Liquid Renegade is going to be the new target here. Melons blinks to the wall, nice Wrath of Terror. 3 members of Direwolves are now on Liquid Renegade, and down he goes. Chuckles has got a double kill. Divine needs to back out here. He can't really do much against 4 members of the Direwolves, but this is going to be the first Gold Fury of the game.
And this is the right call. They have enough sustain. Laney is on Neath, but Neath can heal up. Hers is not lifesteal centric. They've got a Sylvanas as well for that sustain. Divine looking for the steal, didn't quite find it, and now he's going to look to run away. Redoxide's got absolutely no mana. He's going to take through space and time portal to get the heck out of there, but look on the left-hand side. Divine ran into a minion wave as well. They're going to get behind him. Chuckles is here. He's got another portal. Yada in the mid lane. He's going to get Tompo, but the chase continues on that left-hand side. No water illusion chase for Chuckles. He's not quite going to get closer.
Yeah, so that was a great fight there from Team Kamikaze, from the Direwolves. A good initiation from Team Kamikaze. They got the kill they wanted onto Kiki Amir. They've really been punishing him game. It's hard to play Agni against an Odin because you just can't get out of that ring of spears. They've been punishing him quite nicely, but then the Direwolves just turned around and made them pay with the rest of their damage. Like Chuckles just pouring out damage on the Ao Kuang. Who else was around there? Yada came through, did some damage. Good blink through from Rotten Melon. Divine actually gets a kill onto Yada there. Yada went in a little bit too deep there with not much support around him. But yeah, Chuckles has really been making up for a lot of the magical damage once Kiki Amio has fallen down. Because, as I said, usually Kiki is the target of these initiations by Team Kamikaze to take away that magical damage. But Chuckles has just been able to say, well, you know, I'm still here as well. Here's some magical damage. You may have killed one of us, but there's another 4 of us you've got to deal with.
Yeah, and look at the kill scores as well from both of these teams thus far into the game. 13-16, Direwolves and Kamikaze are rather level. Direwolves did pick up that gold cherry, so a little bit more of an advantage for them. They are missing one bonus tower over the side of Kamikaze, because Kamikaze have picked up the left-hand side one and that mid lane one. Only the tower in the solo lane coming through from Yada. He's the only man to successfully pick up that first tower. So that's the state of the game as it is. It's only that 1k difference. Experience-wise, we are bang on level. There is only a couple hundred experience between these two teams, and that bodes well going forwards. The only difference is majorly, Kikyo Mio is 1 level behind, Yada's 1 level in front, and the support, Magnet's actually 2 above Rotten Melons. 80 carries is 1 the difference, Laney's 1 level behind as well. So it's pretty much level. There's only a little bit of gains and a little bit of losses for both teams.
Thing is, though, the later we go into this game, the more it's going to benefit Direwolves. Like, the more online an Alquan can get, the more damage he's going to do, the more kills he can pick up, the more disruptive he's going to be to the other team. Conversely, the Odin is going to start being less and less important. Osiris, Yada playing him, doing a lot of damage there. World Weaver hits Liquid Renegade, not quite finding Divine, which was the target there, which I assume was Laney's target there. Divine going to get out very nicely there. He's done great work with those portals, getting out, but Chuckles initiating onto Reduxite here. Great mesmerize there from him. He's just below the execute threshold. Chuckles doesn't want to use it here. Needs to get an auto attack just to finish him off. There goes the Wild Storm to pick him up. And now in the mid lane,
engage in the mid lane as well. Down comes that Ring of Spears, trying to block everyone off. Magnet is incredibly low. They're going to pick him up, but Liquid Renegade is immediately going to follow. Yada was able to tank up the tower, and there are only 2 members left. Here comes one of them as Tompo's looking to go for that backline. He's immediately going to have to bail and get the heck out of here. Chuckles has got other ideas.
Chuckles hit the wall there with his dragons, but then gets the Wild Storm to finish him off. Quite panic when he missed that first ability. Divine, the only one left up from Team Kamikaze. All 5 of the Direwolves, if they can get a kill onto him or take down his tower, they're going to be looking for a Fire Giant. Down goes the tier 1 in the mid lane, and now Direwolves going to be looking to pressure this tier 2. I don't know there's that much that Divine can do to stop them. There's a nice firebomb from Kiki Amio. Their tick damage is too much. Tick tock, your clock is up, and down is going to go the tier 2 tower, the way of the Direwolves.
Yeah, so Direwolves was down in towers before that all went down, but now they are gonna catch themselves almost all the way back up. They're now missing 2 towers on that right-hand side as Tompo was successfully able to get those and melt them down, and 1 on the left-hand side, still missing that one in the mid lane. So they're, you know, they're 1 tower behind right now, but they get the D side. I have no idea what Tompo was thinking, trying to dive into that lineup of the Direwolves. There was so many of them. He came into the fight so late, and he just wanted to kill them. This goes back a little bit to our analysis of Team Kamikaze in general. Whenever they win fights, you'll tend to see them chase down more kills rather than turn and go for an objective. That's a type of playstyle they have. So when they lose a fight like that, Tompo comes in and he just wants kills. He's not able to find them, and he gets killed himself.
He did not anticipate the amount of damage that Direwolves had left to pour into him. Like, Kikyo Mio just used like 1 flame wave on him, and he was about half health. Like, he just got absolutely shredded from everyone. Laney rooted him in place with the Spirit Arrow. Rotten Melons rooted him in place after that, and he just couldn't go anywhere. And then El Chacos was able to finish him off, and feeding an Alquang, not the best idea.
Yeah, who really wants to feed the Arquang? Arquang as well, something else to mention, if he uses that ultimate later on in the game, 20% health of a tank is a lot of health. And it's really, really hard to burn through that. I really like using his ultimate to get rid of a tank because he's got enough spell damage later on. 30% to 0 could be, you know, could be 600, 700, 800 health with resistances. He's able to just immediately wipe that out.
Is it the enemy's health that he restores or his own health? I thought it was 30% of his own health. I'm
pretty sure it's an execute threshold his enemies.
Oh yeah, it's 30%. Okay, I thought you were talking about the healing he gets when he executes someone. But yeah, it's a 30% of the enemy health when he can execute. Yep. Okay, I got you there. All right, Divine getting initiated on here, taking a tremendous amount of damage, and before he can even portal away, Chuckles takes him down with a Wild Storm. We can see there Ao Kuang doing tremendous work again, and now Tompo is sort of away from the rest of his teammates. He needs to be careful where he goes here, or the Direwolves will once again put him through the Paper Shredder, and now they've seen him. They're gonna collapse on him. He's stunned out. There's the damage from Chuckles, pounces over the wall. Redoxide uses the Across the Skies to come in, but there wasn't really anything for him to come in on. Magnet doing a lot of damage to lane. He just healed up by Rotten Melons, and now Direwolves going in for the kill.
Yeah, Magnet's in a world of trouble. He's forced to drop down the Ring of Spears. He's got the Raven Shout, I swear, in a minute, but it's not going to matter because El Chuckles has got the execute. He's going to pick up one. And now the World Weaver channel, they're going to find Redoxide with a slam down from Chuckles. He is certainly chuckling after the result of that one.
Definitely is, and now the Gold Fury going to be taken down. The Direwolves. Liquid Renegade may look to contest this one. He does have a blink. He blinks through now. Freezes laning in place, but there's the Wrath of Tower for Rotten Melons. Liquid Renegade before he can even use his ultimate. Kiki melts that giant ice block. There's the across space and time. Excuse me, from Divine. Hits the Gold Fury just a little bit too early. Direwolves managed to take that one, and now it is going to be Tompo's turn to die. He's going to look to try and just die to the tower, but Laney hits him with the World Weaver. The minions are chasing him. Tompo needs to wait a couple seconds before he can get under the tower. Otherwise, he will credit the kill to Laney. He just doesn't want to get any XP given back to the Direwolves, but Chuckles is here. There's the Water Illusion. Bye-bye, Tompo.
Yeah, goodbye, Tompo. Another kill on towards L Giggles. He's going to be doing incredibly well for himself this game. 12, 2, and 5. 12,
that's a fed Ao Kuang right there, folks. That is a fed Ao Kuang.
14k gold in hand. Closest on the side of Team Kamikaze is actually going to be Redoxide. He's at 11.8k. That's 2.5, almost 3k gold advantage on one person. One person alone.
It's completely balanced and fair, the amount of damage an Ao Kuang can do. Just balanced. High-res don't fix it. Oh my goodness, and Divine, actually, that was a great attempt at a steal with the through space and time. Just a little bit too early. Now they're looking for the aggression onto just Laney. Laney very well pushed up here. Tremendous damage from Divine. Laney, can he pick up a kill? He gets one onto Redoxide. Here comes Magnet though, but Yada is here. Laney may get out. Magnet uses the Ring of Spears. Laney heals up off a Broken Weave, dodges the Bird Bomb. Doesn't quite manage to root Magnet in place. There's Melons though with a Wrath of Terror. Just Laney is going to get out, and now it's going to be Team Kamikaze's turn to pay as the Wolf Pack has showed up. Magnet is the object of their wrath, and he is executed by El Chuckles. This should be a tier 1 tower on the left-hand side.
He's the Wrath indeed. And, well, Wolf Packs, well, they do hunt best in a pack, and Direwolves, as soon as they start grouping up, they've got hold of this game. Look at them. They just group up. They win. That's what they're really going for. Their late game isn't quite there from the side of Direwolves. Yeah, they've got an Ao Kuang, they've got an Agni, but it's not too much. They've got the Neath versus the Apollo matchup. That's significantly favoring Kamikaze. We've got to keep trying to buy time for Redoxide to get those items going, but they may not have it as they're looking to go underneath this Phoenix, and they're gonna be able to pick up a kill on towards Divine. Crucial to clearing waves off this thing, and this Phoenix is gone.
Yeah, that's a dead Phoenix right there. Looks like Direwolves going to back up here. I thought they may go for the middle Phoenix, but they don't want a chance with that many members of Team Kamikaze up, and instead just going to look towards some buff camps, maybe a Fire Giant even here at this point, considering the clear of Divine is down, but mainly just steal those buff camps away. Once again, like last game, put a more of a chokehold on the game, ensure that Team Kamikaze can't get back in this one, or at least make it as difficult as possible for them. We saw last week, Invidious managed to stay in the game long enough for them to win it against Ivory when Ivory was winning it so heavily. And Chuckles gets frozen out in the mid lane. Tompo gets the kill there. And so Chuckles is finally shut down. But he's not going to care. He's just going to go back to base and buy. He's got a Soul Reaver online now. And that is just dirty. That is a dirty amount of damage he's going to be doing to the other team. And
he's one item off complete.
Yeah.
He's one item off complete already. What?
Yeah.
He's an item ahead of everyone else, except for his AD carry. Well, okay.
Yeah, but his items cost more because he's a mage essentially. Like he's played the jungle, but he's classified as a mage. Take a look at our player damage here, and Yada actually topping the player damage. And when you consider his items, you know, Ninja Tarbai, Frostbound Hammer, and Chin Size are really the only damagey items he has. But top damage, 20k damage. Divine's just behind him as well as Redoxide and Chuckles. Really kind of all those guys
important.
being very fluid there, but Yada, the clear leader at this point.
And I mean, we mentioned it in between games that we needed to see this damage lift Divine and from Redox side. They were so far below the solo laner Yada on that Bastet last game. They were just not even relevant. 10k behind, lifted it. Great job. They might be losing a lot of the fights, but they are certainly doing their utmost to keep their team into this. And look at this state of the game right now. Look at what they've got on their team. They've got a Giannis, they've got an Apollo. They had the split push. If they can buy time, make sure they don't lose a Fire Giant, they can split up into those waves, gather the most XP, most gold across the map to ensure they slowly come back into this.
They'll need to. They'll need to do that especially. And Redoxide should just be split pushing at this point. He's not really contributing that much to team fights. He's not really doing well in one-on-one matchups. Just split push when your team needs you. Just ride your chariot across the sky and come in like the proverbial savior. But he doesn't really need to be hanging around his team too much. That's what you pick the Apollo for. Is for that ability to split push and then rejoin the team when it suits you. Daiwa's going to start the fire down here with all members of Team Kamikaze up. Looks like it's a bait as Liquid Renegade gets extremely low here. Puts up a nice wall in the raid. Melons looks for the pick through the wall. Doesn't quite manage to find it. Daiwa's going to keep going on its fire giant here. It's about half health. Divine as well as the rest of the Team Kamikaze boys looking for the steal here. They can't go in. There's the through space of time. Not going to find it. Daiwa's got the fire giant. Divine picks up a kill on the Chuckles, and that is huge. Rotten Melon's getting very low. Actually, just getting low. Liquid Renegade gets the lowest, though. Kikyo picks up a kill. There's the across the sky from Redoxide that we were talking about. Yada is just wrecking face in the backline of Team Kamikaze. Tompo in the backline on Just Lady, but Lady says, son, this is my fight to win, and down goes Tompo. Redoxide gets stunned out by the World Weaver. There's the beads, and now the Direwolves take him down. Direwolves pushing to win.
Redoxide, I really didn't want to see him join that fight. Yes, surrender the Fire Giant, give it up. You were never going to be able to do that. He doesn't have an Executioner online. He's going for double crit. He's not going for Executioner at all. Look at the lineup. They've got Yada. He's got physical protections, a lot of health as well. And as soon as he gets that Steel Mail online, there is going to be no way that Redoxide can actually touch him and physically do damage to him, so he's got to die in the backline. Rotten Melons as well. He's got a Sov, he's got a Heartward Amulet, and he's already got a Jade Mountain Helm. He's looking for a lot of bonus protections, and there's not a lot he can do. Redoxide needed an Executioner. He's got no armor pen. He's got 10. He's got 10 physical armor pen. That is it across his build.
What he's looking for with the Ikavul, though, is to take away from the physical power that Direwolves are putting out, but it's not enough. Would have rather that the Ikavul's good for a boxing situation, which is where he would stack up well against the Neat, because he does have that steroid passive. We've got a bit of a pause at the moment as it appears Magnet has DC. We can see him running into a wall, so that's the explanation there. He's just come back now, but in the long run, as you mentioned, the Executioner probably a better pick. Gives you the physical power. The flat pen of the Ikavul, though, is hard to ignore.
It's hard to ignore, but if you're going to be going the face in Fatalis, it's cheap, right? He opted to go for a cheaper item. Neath got into more kills from the side of Just Laney, and that's why he traded out. He didn't even go for the Ikaval. He went straight into the Execution. I really, really like that build path. Be interesting to see we actually see the rest of our hunters in the league doing with these sorts of things. As a left Phoenix respawns is the right one for us.
Yeah, and now the middle Phoenix is the object of the Direwolves' wrath. Rotten Melons gets extremely low. Divine picks up another kill. Liquid Renegade has gone into his ultimate. Magnet getting extremely low. Laney picks up the kill there. Tompo gets the kill onto Kikyo, so there's a lot of the magical damage gone from the Direwolves. Chuckles has gone back. He's got his his restored artifact, so he's going to be doing a lot of damage now, and he's looking to clean up the back of Team Kamikaze. Oh my goodness, the damage he just put onto the Liquid Renegade. That was a 2-shot for him. Yada dives away from Tompo, but Chuckles is here now to try and get something here. Gets the red buff. Now he's against 3 members of Team Kamikaze. The rest of the Direwolves are back to help him out there. Nice Spirit Arrow by Laney onto Tompo, who takes a tremendous amount of damage from the Wild Storm. Direwolves, let's see if they can pull this one out of the bag.
Yeah, those cats are finally going to kill off Just Laney, but Chuckles has got other ideas. He wants to kill someone. It was an incorrect choice, and Tompo and Redoxide will take him down with a kill credit going to Tompo.
Yeah, and Magnet's actually DC'd again, but no one on Team Kamikaze decided to pause just yet.
Combat
I guess
they couldn't have paused.
They're out of combat now. They can pause now.
Yeah, they can pause now.
They can pause now, but they're not choosing to. So, a little bit of odd choice. Communication's not there. Like, he might have dropped out, and they haven't heard that he's gone. Or they're just confident that he'll be back in time. Who knows? Mysteries of the game. Divine, oh my goodness. Shotgun blast to the face of Yada there. But that's his escape down for a little while, so he needs to be careful as Melons and Kikyo looking to get something here. Kiki can roam a little bit more freely now that he knows that Odin is out for the count.
Did they run out of pauses? They might have run out of pauses as well.
They've used 2 of them. They
Yeah,
haven't used the third one.
Yeah, if they had run out of pauses, that would make sense for them not waiting for Magnet to come back into this game.
They might have thought they ran out of pauses. Oh, I said poises, not in 1930s New Jersey. Yeah, they might have think they've run out of pauses, but I don't think so. Yeah, look, he's back now. So, oh, okay. A little bit of a technical error there, folks. So we'll be right back right after this. Alrighty, folks, so a big technical error there. We've actually been removed from the game and can't seem to get back into it. So the end result of that game, as you may have guessed, was going to be a Direwolves victory. They had the Fire Giant, they had what they needed to win, and they were able to close that one out against Team Kamikaze. Let's talk about MVPs, and I think the clear answer for number 1 has to be El Shuckles.
I don't think there's any way anyone can disagree with you. High kill credits. He was just everywhere his team needed him to be. Yeah, I mean, he may have been out Ao Kuang, but it wasn't a solo lane Ao Kuang. And Ao Kuang did get stomped into the ground in that first game as well, when Team Kamikaze picked it up by some really nice Bastet play. Yada, I think Yada is very crucial to MVPs. I think he should definitely be deserving of the 2nd spot. And it was very crucial because, yeah, we just mentioned Ao Kuang, he's so strong at the moment. Yeah. Shut that down. Did get a counter matchup, but shut it down, roamed, and made the Bastet count.
Yeah, exactly right. And then for our 3rd place MVP, it's a little bit tricky for this one because everyone else in the Direwolves played really well. I think my 3rd place MVP would have to go to Divine for his effort in that 2nd game mainly because he really brought his team through the early game and kept them in competition as long as possible. But in the end, it just wasn't enough for his team. But he gets my vote for 3rd place MVP.
Who do I give my 3rd vote to MVP for? Laney did have a really nice game 1 though. He was just around. I think he finished the game at 3-1-15, but he was just there whenever his team needed him, right? He was always there. Divine did crucially make a lot of rotations and a lot of the aggression and a lot of the ability to keep Team Kamikaze level for such a long period in that 2nd game was 100% down to him. So I am going to back you up. I will go with Divine for 3rd place.
Alrighty, so that's going to do it for our first match of the day. Set of 2 going the way of the Direwolves, taking out both of them. Up next, we have got a great one for you. Chiefs Esports Club up against Ivory Gaming. Myself and Nightfall will be bringing you that one, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.